You bring the money home, you are under pressure every day, you carry responsibility, and yet you often only hear what you supposedly are not doing. When women then emphasize only their own mental load and his load does not appear at all, a one-sided picture emerges. I am burdened, you are not. I am allowed to be exhausted, you are not. And of course, today we will take a look at both perspectives. Yes, welcome back, dear friends. Today, a topic that may feel like enlightenment for some of you, something you might not have even heard of. And as always, we look at it from a perspective different from the usual narrative. I try to give you some arguments in case you ever find yourselves in a debate about it, and even if you disagree with me, feel free to write in the comments how you see it. It's about the mental load. The term mental load is currently on everyone's lips. Or rather, it was never really gone, thanks to feminism, which reliably reminds us of everything women accomplish in everyday life and how overwhelming that is. And before the first feminist criticism arrives, yes, many women accomplish a lot, and that can be emphasized. Talking about mental load is not wrong at all, because it exists. Mental load describes the burden that arises from organizing often invisible everyday tasks, such as remembering the mother-in-law's birthday and buying a gift on time, organizing pediatrician appointments, having a master plan in case daycare spontaneously closes again, and who will go grocery shopping. And many women in partnerships, mothers, but also women without children, say they suffer from this mental burden. In the media, it is a constant topic. On social media, many women report that it always falls on them to think of all these little things. And many are angry. It is exhausting to always keep the overview, and it supposedly goes unnoticed. And the accusation is not only directed at the men at their side, but often at the entire allegedly male-dominated society. And yes, in relationships, women often take on the manager role. Of course, not always, but typically. And it's not just about the doing itself, but the juggling of tasks in one's head. What needs to be done? When? How? Who will do it? And if one person has to shoulder all this alone in the long run, that is undoubtedly draining. And of course, there are indeed men who do not support their partner enough, or not at all. Men who think, hey, I already bring the money home, she should take care of everything else. In my opinion, you can still support each other so that not everything falls on one person. And naturally, this organizational burden should be divided if both work full-time. And if he really does nothing at all, well, then you chose the wrong man. So don't blame society. Good. Okay. And now come the arguments that will once again get me into trouble with certain circles. Hand on heart, this everyday logistics is, for many women, a territory that they fiercely defend with a well-developed need for control. It is their realm. They are the masters of organization, and many would be annoyed if he suddenly interfered in everything, whether it's about the color of Eva's carnival costume, or even worse, if he suddenly tries to rewrite the entire shopping list. So women sometimes take on these things because they want to take them on. We should honestly say that. And this may sound like betrayal to those complaining about the mental load, but there is indeed another perspective. Not all women are the same, and some of these women also take on these tasks because they know they are simply much better at them. This is not meant as a sweeping generalization. Everyone has individual strengths and weaknesses, and in my home, it works the same way. Usually, I have in mind what is missing in the fridge. I remember that a vet appointment for the dog needs to be made. I know the days on which garbage, plastic, paper, and all that need to be taken out. So these things. I organize many of the everyday tasks at home. He, on the other hand, takes care of other tasks. If it is raining and freezing cold, he takes the dog out. If I'm cooking and I'm missing an ingredient, He spontaneously hops on his bike to the supermarket and gets it. There would be hundreds of examples, but that's how you complement each other. And another point, women tend to over-organize. Some even plan the daily routine of their teenage son, even though he already has a smartphone, a calendar, and an opinion. And all this accumulates into workload. So the load is sometimes a bit self-made, but many women see it very differently, and I respect that. I know women who know they are taking on unnecessary burdens, who cannot say no or cannot set boundaries well. And sometimes these are exactly the women who feel this mental load. Another thought. Most working men work significantly more than working women, regardless of whether children are involved or not. In Switzerland, every second woman works part-time. In Germany, almost every second. According to an SRF article titled, "Study Shows, the Man is Still Expected to Provide for the Family," fathers of dependent children work an average of 91%, mothers 55%. The article leaves no doubt about which model dominates in Switzerland. The woman primarily takes care of the children and the home, and the man provides the financial foundation, not because people are forced into it, but because they want it. They see it as the best life model for themselves. And yes, I was never particularly good at math, but these numbers do not leave much room for interpretation. And my interpretation is, if men work significantly more outside the home, women automatically take over more tasks at home and more of the mental workload. Don't get me wrong, this does not mean he shouldn't relieve her of this organizational and mental burden. On the contrary, he should. But it does relativize the constant accusation. Men are slacking off. And the question is aloud, what is more important to you, dear ladies? A partner who brings the money home, but might forget an anniversary or a gift? Or not know every detail of Noah's childcare schedule? Or one who works significantly less, earns significantly less, but knows exactly which shirt the little one needs for football training, and whether there is enough laundry detergent left? Of course, this is exaggerated, but the question is still valid. Speaking of money, and here I wish that this perspective would also get more attention in public discussions. There is a real imbalance. Men also carry a load. They feel the so-called performer pressure, especially fathers, who shoulder the financial responsibility as the main provider. And just as women feel that their work at home is not seen and not appreciated, men also feel that their work outside the home is not seen and not appreciated, but taken for granted. But because men rarely talk about it, solve their problems alone, and do not make TikTok videos about it, and because they are men, it hardly plays a role in public debates. And when they do talk about their problems, they are quickly portrayed as whiny. Yet the constant feeling of having to keep everything under control is not an exclusively female feeling. And when only the woman's mental load is emphasized, and his load, the performer pressure, the financial responsibility, is not even mentioned, a one-sided picture emerges. I am burdened. You are not. This implies you have no reason to be exhausted or overwhelmed. As I said, I think women's mental load should be discussed. I have absolutely nothing against that. What I am saying is, sometimes it helps to change perspectives and not only look at one's own needs. Do you agree with me? Where am I wrong? Thank you for watching and see you soon.